Test, test. Is that good? Is it okay? All right. Oh, we just did. Hello, hello. Yeah. We're both good. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is a beautiful, sunny, warm Easter morning in Portland. Not the norm for Easter, but we're really happy. I want to welcome you, all of you, especially first-time visitors. We're really glad you're here. And those of you who are not first-time visitors, but sometimes comers. You know who I'm looking at there in the back row. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm Cynthia Hopkins, your worship leader this morning, and our minister, Reverend Robin Zucker, offers her sermon for Passover and Easter, and what we might learn today from these foundational religious stories and figures about why we make promises, why we should keep them, and why we may be tempted to break them. Our special program today includes our Eastros choir, and we will also have a new member ceremony later on in the program, and there's going to be a potluck, and there's going to be an Easter egg hunt for the kids. So we have a lot going on today. Would you please take out your cell phones and make sure they're on mute at this time. This is a beautiful program. You don't want to be sounding weird sounds when they're trying to harmonize over here. Eastros Fellowship sits on the occupied territory of the Clackamas Chinook people, who were forcibly displaced from this land to the Grand Ronde Reservation in 1855. We acknowledge the sacrifices endured by the ancestors of this land, and that our presence here today is only possible because of the injustices committed against them. We recognize the inherent sovereignty of the Chinook Nation and the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, who carry on their traditions, history, and legacy held by our ancestors since time immemorial. We seek meaningful relationships with these communities that foster repair. And now is that special time when we all get to stand up and greet each other here today, both in the chapel and all of you there online. Let's stand up and wave at them. Happy Easter to you all, and let's visit. On, we want to get with it, and also there's the potluck and all those other events after church. So for our online guests, if you would like to share a joy or sorrow during that portion of the service, you can do so by entering it in the YouTube chat, and those will be shared aloud with everyone. I also encourage you to identify yourself in the chat so that we may better acknowledge your presence with us today. And now the call to worship. It's a responsive one. It is entitled Love Brings Us Back to Life by Reverend Peggy Clark. Words are on the screen. Mine is the gold, yours is the white. Easter is a holiday of miracles.
It is life from death,
joy from sorrow,
celebration from mourning.
Easter reminds us that all is never lost,
that the story continues news as long as we are here to tell it.
So gather up your worries. We are going to bury them beneath the ground.
And watch them transform into flowers of hope.
Pushing through the earth, reminding us on Easter morning that love brings us back to life.
Calls us from sadness, from grief, from anxiety.
Into a world renewed and alive.
And filled with joy once again.
We light our chalice with these words from Reverend Dillman Baker Sorrells. For holy days on which we recall the old stories, we light the flame. For Passover, which reminds us of the courage and strength of those seeking freedom in the past, we light the flame. For Easter, which reminds us that love is our greatest challenge, we light the flame. For gathering today in this sacred place, we light the flame. For the opportunity to be together as a community, to remember the past, to plan for our future, to be alive in our present.
Thank you, Cynthia. Good morning, everybody. Happy Easter, Passover, sunny Sunday, choir day, potluck day. It's great to be with you, and our service today, Shards in the Ark, looks at Easter and Passover and the promises made during those, in the stories of those holidays and the promises we make. So I begin with a reading from Exodus. Exodus 6. Yahweh tells Moses, "Therefore say to the Israelites, I am the Lord, and I promise to bring you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. I will free you from being slaves to them, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with mighty acts of judgment. I will take you as my own people, and I will be your God. Then you will know that I am the Lord, your God, who brought you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. And in that spirit, we will sing our first hymn. It's a Passover hymn, number 220 in the gray hymnal, Bring Out Your Festal Bread. Please rise.
Bring out your festal bread and sing songs of freedom. Shout with the slaves who fled and sing songs of freedom. What modern pharaohs live in arrogance crowned? Who shall be sent to challenge folly around them? Bring out the festal bread and sing songs of freedom. Shout with the slaves who fled and sing songs of freedom. Chains to their arms who pray their days are not finished. Let all our sorrow makers still not diminish. Bring out the festal bread and sing songs of freedom. Shout with the slaves who fled and sing songs of freedom. Still does resentment bind each brother and sister. Still do the plagues affect us red as the river. Bring out the festal bread and sing songs of freedom. Shout with the slaves who fled and sing songs of freedom. Already our journey and justice is worth it. Get Sister Miriam and help us to birth it. Bring out the festal bread and sing songs of freedom. Shout with the slaves who fled and sing songs of freedom. Oh, people, lift your heads and look to the mountains. Bushes of flames who call us or still gush fountains. Bring out the festal bread and sing songs of freedom. Shout with the slaves who fled and sing songs of freedom.
Be seated. So this is the first Sunday of the month, which means only one thing. We sing our birthday song. Who has a birthday in April? Me. Who else? Stand up, if you please, if you're willing to have a birthday. That's great. Happy birthday. You can sit down, and we will sing our birthday song. You can sit or stand, whatever works for you. Mary? Happy birthday, we love you. Happy birthday, and may all your dreams come true. When you blow out the candles, one light stays aglow. It's the love light in your eyes wherever you go. So happy birthday to all us April babies, and we will sing again the first Sunday in May, and they're on out. And now Tara is going to come up and, I assume, turn this chair around in the front and offer the children's message today. Yeah.
Funny. But what a nice problem to have. Okay. Well, good morning and happy Easter. Today we're wondering about promises. Sometimes we think promises mean that we have to do things and do them perfectly, and that's a lot of pressure. But there are other kinds of promises too. Promises about how we treat each other, how we care for each other, and how we grow over time. Today's story is called I Promise You. It's written from a caregiver to a child, but it's also a story about the kinds of promises that we can share with each other, to value each other for who we are, and to support each other in loving community. So this is I Promise You, written and illustrated by Marianne Richmond. When you first came to me, so little and new, I held you close and rocked you slow and made a promise to you. I promise to grow you and show you with all of my heart that I'm here for you always, right from the start. I promise you roots, a place to belong, where you can be yourself freely and learn right from wrong. I promise you time for laughing and play, and to notice the moments that bring fun to our day. I promise you choices to bravely begin, to find your own voice and what lights you within. When your body is growing and you're full of knowing, I promise you limits for your coming and going. I promise you help to figure things out when your mind is mixed up with questions and doubt. I promise you guidance and cheering and hugs when you're fearing waves that are tossing the ship you are steering. I can't promise you easy or perfect or fair, but I promise you listening to the feelings you share. I promise you acceptance of ways you're not me, even though we are part of the same family. I promise you truth and reminding of your infinite worth, built in and boundless since your moment of birth. When your wings are grown and you fly from the nest, I promise you wishes for life's beauty and best. I promise you prayers as you choose and explore. And I promise you home in my heart and my door. I promise you love for your lifetime through, steady, endless, and sure. This I promise you. We can't always promise that things will be easy or perfect, but we can promise to care for each other and to help each other grow. And now we'll say goodbye to Reverend Robin and the adults who are going to keep talking about promises, and we will see everyone after the service at our potluck and our Easter egg hunt.
Goodness. Big day.
So if the adults along the center aisle will form a bridge, we'll sing the children out.
How are we supposed to sit in a circle? This is just chaos.
So I invite you now into some quiet time with me, some meditative time. I invite you to put your feet on the floor and uncross your arms and just kind of see if you can kind of open up your posture to invite as much spaciousness as you can. Maybe drop your hands into your lap, close your eyes, and soften your face, starting with your forehead and your jaw. See if you can really soften it, like let it drop. Let it fall. Take a big inhale and a big exhale to start. And after you've softened your face, drop your shoulders, soften your arms, let your elbows fall. See if your hands are tight. And then begin some intentional breathing as you continue to create spaciousness from the crown of your head down to your feet that are on the ground, grounded and rooted. Breathe in 4 beats through your nose, 5 or 6 beats out through your mouth. A slow, intentional rhythm and speed that enables you to create that spaciousness inside of you. Stop and feel. Breathe and allow. And we'll just breathe together, 4 in through the nose, 5 or 6 out through the mouth. While you breathe, I offer these words by David Blanchard. Do more than simply keep the promises made in your vow. Do something more. Keep promising. As time passes, keep promising new things, deeper things, vaster things, unimagined things. Promises that will be needed to fill the expanses of time and of love. Keep promising. When you come out of a breathing exercise, you want to do it slowly, taking another round, and then a big exhale at the end that's a release. We'll remain seated for our spirit song. It's number 1002 in the teal hymnal, Comfort Me, and we will sing all of the verses.
Comfort me.
Passover, a meditation by Reverend Lynn Unger. Then you shall take some of the blood and put it on the doorposts and the lintels of the houses. And when I see the blood, I shall pass over you. And no plague shall fall upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. From Exodus chapter 12. They thought they were safe that spring night when they daubed the doorways with sacrificial blood. To be sure, the angel of death passed them over. But for what? 40 years in the desert without a home, without a bed, following new laws to an unknown land. Easier to have died in Egypt or stayed there a slave, pretending there was safety in the old familiar. But the promise from those first naked days outside the garden is that there is no safety, only the terrible blessing of the journey. You were born through a doorway marked in blood. We are, all of us, passed over, brushed in the night by terrible wings. Ask that fierce presence whose imagination you hold. God did not promise that we shall live, but that we might, at last, glimpse the stars, brilliant in the desert sky.
What would you do if you had a mountain dangling over your head? An actual gargantuan mound of dirt and stone. Would you agree to anything to save yourself? That is the theory of the modern French Jewish philosopher Emmanuel Levinas. He proposes, based on nuances in the ancient biblical Hebrew, that the Israelites were Yahweh's third choice as the chosen people. Third choice. And that he gave them an ultimatum. Agree to be my tribe, or I will drop Mt Sinai on your head. Fascinating. These newly liberated slaves stood not at the base of Sinai, but under it, according to Levinas. Now, I first heard this theory in divinity school and found it both troubling and fascinating. Did Yahweh actually want the Israelites as his chosen ones, or had he just run out of options? Did the Israelites sin in the desert, building a golden calf because they were coerced into a covenant with God, and they were actually geared towards idolatry in the first place? And ultimately, might we understand the Passover story of freedom from bondage and wandering in the wilderness for 40 years as one of learning to make and keep promises and the consequence for breaking them? Their destination was called the Promised Land, after all. And what about the promises made by Jesus or his disciples? Promises made, promises kept, promises broken. We might ask if Jesus ever promised anyone that he would be a redeemer of everyone's sins. He did not, even though Christianity and Easter pretty much depend on that belief. Did Yahweh grasp that the humans he had created in Genesis needed to learn to honor their vows and keep their promises in Exodus? Dangling mountains or not, evidently so, and we continue to learn that lesson every day in our postmodern, swipe left, maybe I do world. Yahweh made 4 promises to Moses when he called to the prophet from the burning bush to lead them out of Egypt. And during the Passover Seder Haggadah service, widely believed to be Jesus' Last Supper, participants drink 4 cups of wine to honor these promises. And I can tell you that you're supposed to wait till the time in the Haggadah to drink that wine, but people are constantly like, oh, I know I drank that at the wrong time, so fill me up. I recounted them for us in our opening words this morning in Exodus 6. Yahweh tells Moses, "Therefore I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. I will free you from being slaves to them, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with mighty acts of judgment. I will take you as my own people, and I will be your God. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God, who brought you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians," commonly known as the Shema in Deuteronomy, the one God. Now, that sounds like a great offer, right? It has dawned on me, though, especially over this past week of pondering the topic, that the Israelites could not possibly have grasped what they were agreeing to. They had no experience with choices, promises, or vows, making them or keeping them. They had been slaves, and in the Exodus, they were mere babes in the tempting woods of freedom. I believe that the 40 years that they were required to wander was not just a form of punishment, but perhaps even more significantly, a learning experience in truly understanding freedom and responsibility. The Reverend Victoria Safford alludes to this likelihood in her poem, Desert Spring. She writes, "They had no idea what they were getting into, following this Moses, this wild-eyed one who claimed visions and made promises, and who, after all, could guarantee them nothing except death if they were caught. Of freedom, they knew nothing except what they could taste by living its opposite, and that taste became a hunger. They went into the wilderness, and they knew nothing but the journey." These foundational events surrounding the chosenness and exodus of the Jewish people, the 4 promises, and the deliverance of the commandments comprise what is known collectively as the Mosaic covenant, Yahweh's pact with Moses and the chosen people. It's a binding together, a sacred commitment between a tribe and their God. And Jesus enters into this Mosaic covenant as well as a Jewish man. Baptism is a covenant for Christians. Now, covenant is a word that's very familiar to Unitarian Universalists. We are brought together by covenant rather than a unified creed. It's a contract that we've entered into one another with one another as a beloved community. We've agreed to it freely, and we must keep it responsibly. And we renew that covenant with our presence and with our offering of time, talent, and treasury. We abide with one another in the wilderness and in paradise, as we heard in our joys and sorrows, when angels visit us and when demons visit us. We are here together in covenant. The Israelites' covenant with God needed to be renewed after the famous episode with the golden calf and the smashing of the first tablets. So Moses went back up the mountain. He really didn't have to do that. He could have said, well, we're done here, right? But that he was called as a prophet. And I believe I preached in other sermons that when prophets were called in the Old Testament, they said no 3 times, and then they finally said, Hineni, send me. So Moses really couldn't say, I'm done here. He went back up the mountain to receive a second set of tablets. And, he could have chosen another people, but he was going to keep his side of the bargain and offer an opportunity for redemption. Or perhaps he was dangling the mountain over their heads. We really can't know. Now, there's a famous Jewish joke, and I'm Jewish, I can tell Jewish jokes. There's a famous Jewish joke that suggests that the first set of commandments numbered 200, and that when Moses came down with the second set, he told the expectant Israelites that he had good news and bad news. The good news was that he had bargained Yahweh down to 10 commandments. The bad news was that the whole killing and coveting no-no was still a thing. But all joking aside, the difference between these 2 sets of tablets is very significant, and it alludes to the title of my sermon today. On a website entitled The 70 Faces of Torah, a Talmudic scholar tells us, whereas the first tablets were godly, the second set were human. The first are described as the tablets are God's work, and the writing was God's writing. Whereas the second tablets were a collaboration, really, between Moses and Yahweh. In Deuteronomy 10, we read, "The Lord said to me, carve out 2 tablets of stone like the first, and I will inscribe on the tablets the commandments that were on the first tablets that you smashed." The first ones were pristine. They were unblemished. They probably weren't appropriate for human beings, being pristine and unblemished. They shattered the moment they encountered sin, the golden calf. The second tablets are given after the sin and after God's forgiveness of the golden calf. Those second set of tablets acknowledge human error and welcome human forgiveness. This was cut from the Charlton Heston movie version, but it's pretty important to our understanding. The second tablets are created by human effort, expressed by the fact that it's Moses, not God, who hewed those stone tablets. This understanding led Rabbi Nachman of Breslov to see the broken and intact tablets as a process of renewal and repair. By means of the idea of broken tablets, of broken faith, through that brokenness itself, faith returns and rehabilitates itself. And this is the embodiment of the concept of the second tablets. Because thanks to the existence of the small fragments or shards of broken promise, he fulfills the advice of the sages that those for whom faith is broken, they should return and rebuild that faith. Promises made, promises broken, trust and a covenant renewed through atonement and forgiveness. Easter is essentially a holy day for Christians offering redemption through a risen Christ. It's an observance of faith and hope, and for all of us really, regardless of theology, an opportunity for atonement and forgiveness, and a call to be resurrected into our best selves. This wisdom pertains to us too here in this sanctuary in a vastly different time and context. The right of private judgment and the use of conscience are foundational principles in the development of Unitarian Universalism. We might also ponder, what does it mean to be free, to have free will, to be endowed with the freedom to choose and to promise, to atone and forgive, to be resurrected into our best selves? As humans in a free society, we give and we receive promises. We avow, we pledge, we covenant. And sometimes we succeed at keeping those promises and honoring our vows, and then at times there are promises broken. Short of crucifixion, we might find ourselves doxxed or canceled or seen as unredeemable. But I do not believe we are unredeemable ever. Yahweh did not believe that, and Jesus did not embody that. Why do we make promises? I'd argue that it is an essential aspect of human bonding, from childhood pinky swears to romantic, dreamy wedding vows to stone-cold contractual agreements. Promises made and kept strengthen our personal character and the integrity of our relationships. Apologizing for promises broken does the same. In an article for Psychology Today magazine, the therapist Michelle Guylan highlights some of the reminders about promises and why keeping them is so important. She notes that promises are hard work. Following through on a promise, if that was easy, then broken promises wouldn't hurt so much. Promises are challenging because they require us to step outside our wants and fulfill something for someone else. Promises are commitments. People with strong, trusting relationships rank higher in emotional intelligence and are more likely to remain loyal to their commitments. Promises can make or break your reputation. When a promise is broken, your personal integrity suffers, and others may not trust you again so willingly. Promises should not go beyond your own boundaries. Ever heard the expression, don't make a promise you can't keep? Be thoughtful about what you promise in the first place, because breaking a promise is the same as disrespecting yourself and others. So why do we break them? Why do we break promises? There are so many possibilities. A weak will, feeling coerced into that promise, like the Israelites perhaps, and a world with just too many options. Some add these reasons to the list: decreased affiliation with religious communities, the flimsy commitments within social media, and the self-absorbed belief in endless reinvention, out with the old, in with the new. We are human. We make promises, and despite our best intentions, sometimes we break them. The shards of the Israelites' broken promise, those first tablets, they were placed in the Ark of the Covenant with the intact ones. That most holy ark represents the heart of God, and it includes both shards of broken promises and intact ones. A covenant is something you give your heart to, and after 40 years, the wanderers forged their heart bond in blood, sweat, and tears. Regardless of its origin, the chosen people grew into their commitment with Yahweh, with each other, and with themselves. Do you feel a need to renew a commitment to yourself or others to be a promise keeper? As modern people, as you use, we are endowed with the ability to choose and the freedom to make promises. May we remember that these blessings, these freedoms, come with a clause to own our choices and honor our promises, and that when we don't, we can atone and potentially be forgiven, place the shards of our broken vows in the ark of our hearts, strap on our sandals, hold hands with our best selves and with the spirit of Moses and Miriam and Jesus, and journey on together towards a promised land. So may it be. Blessed be, blessed we, shalom, alleluia, and amen. Please rise for our final hymn. It's an Easter hymn, number 266, Now the Green Blade Riseth. Please be seated.
Each week we take an offering to support this church and to share with a local organization doing good works in the community. Portland Immigrant Rights Coalition is our Sharing the Bounty partner from March through August. They work to empower immigrants, unite families, and build a just community. PIRC maintains a hotline to report ICE activity, provides referrals to legal aid and social services, trains rapid response migra watchers, and maintains a daily presence at the Portland Immigration Court and ICE building. If you're attending online, you may donate by visiting our website and clicking the donate button, or you may scan the QR code on the screen. If you are here for the first time, we invite you to let the basket pass and truly be our guest. The gifts of the congregation will now be most gratefully received. A beautiful offertory. Please remain seated and sing our song of gratitude, number 1010 in the teal hymnal. We give thanks. The words will be on the screen. We give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here.
New members this morning. Bobby Tallman is here in spirit, and I will certainly welcome her properly with her little gifts when I see her again. But I'm going to read the names of the new members, and if you can kind of stand in a little, like maybe along the side here, since the choir is kind of busy in this area. I see two of you are already here, but it's Tim McKeegan and Charlie Lewis and Celeste Larson And you'll have a chance to applaud them all at the end. Karen Britton, come down from the choir, and Julianne Blanchette, Jessica Reed, and Jonathan Netherton, becoming a member again, renewing his membership, Allison Evans, and Kevin McWilliams. And so we have a little ceremony that we do. Change the papers here. Today, we welcome into our community these new and renewed members, because Jessica, I believe, is also a renewed member, who have chosen to make a commitment to this congregation by signing our membership book, a tradition that goes back centuries, really. New members, we are so glad to have you here with us and that you have chosen this community of fellow seekers to travel with you on your life's journey. Will you accept our gifts of belonging, discovery, and service? Will you offer us your unique presence and gifts? Will you add your name to the long history of Unitarian Universalist individuals who spread hope and justice with our living faith? And will you engage with us as we seek to create a community and a world dedicated to love and justice? If so, please say, we will. We will. Congregation, will you welcome these new members with the warmth and comfort of your presence? Will you seek to add your strengths and talents to the new gifts they bring to us? Will you share our triumphs and our struggles as our community grows and changes? If so, please say, we will. We will. So now let us applaud and welcome our new members. I will shake each of their hands, as will our president, Katie, and we will offer them some gifts. John, Karen, Jessica, Julie, Charlie, Kevin, Allison. So we have some gifts for you. Little party bag without the bag. And we will give these to you if you can. Journals, chalice journals. They're very pretty. So for any of your thoughts, certainly inspiration. And I have one for Bobby. You get a pen and a magnet. If that doesn't entice you to join.
I was just telling Jamie I want one of those journals.
And once you have your gifts, you may be seated, and we are thrilled to have you in membership with us. And now I believe we're extinguishing the chalice. Bobby, that's for Bob.
Words by Eric Hepburn. We extinguish this flame to remind us love is the center. As we explore and rest, engage and heal, love remains the center. When all we can see is cold ashes, love remains. Okay. I have announcements. Oh, there it is. Okay. First of all, thank you to everyone who helped with the service. There was a lot going on and a lot of work behind the scenes, so thank you all. Applause for our choir. Yes. Welcome new members. Yeah. Today we have our monthly First Sunday Potluck lunch, which is a wonderful event for everyone. We do have a few people with food allergies and other diet restrictions. Would anyone mind if we let those folks go first in line? Okay, so there's a request. And also, I want to offer Keen, if you could make your way over here, you give an announcement about the plant swap.
It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I promise that April 25th will also be a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And don't hold me to it. The plant swap is April 25th. We have a beautiful week of digging plants and separating plants and potting plants and finding stuff in the neighbor's yard. Put them in pots, bring them in. The way this works is really simple. You bring what you got, you take what you want. There's no money change hands, and it's not a one-to-one exchange. It's you wander around in the parking lot and you pick up the stuff that you'd like to have. And believe me, the people that bring it want to get rid of it. So it can be garden implements, it can be pots, it can be plants, it can be starts, it can be seedlings, and it can be dangly things from trees. Whatever you have that you're not using and you would like to recycle to somebody that could use it, that's what the plant swap's about. It will be from 10 until 12 on Saturday, the 25th. Rain or shine, but it's going to be shine.
Any other announcements? Okay, please join me now in our unison benediction. Go out into the world in peace, have courage, hold on to what is good, return to no person evil for evil, strengthen the faint-hearted, support the weak, help the suffering, honor all beings. May you go out in joy and return in love. And next week we will have spirited conversations after our service, and I hope you'll all join in the potluck today. Please remain seated for the postlude.
In our hearts, a hopeful
The service is ended. Go have fun on this beautiful Easter day.